Whatever you do, do not look into Shedinja's back. The worst mistake of my life. When it comes to unique evolutions and weird ghost-type Pokemon, Shedinja is one of the first that comes to mind. Shedinja is kind of the evolved form of Nincada, and I say kind of because its evolution method brings up a few questions. The few of which we'll go ahead and take a look into. Viewer beware, you're in for a scare because this is the tale of Shedinja. So Nincada is a pretty standard looking Pokemon. It's a little bug and ground type Pokemon that evolves at level 20 into Ninjask. But if you have an empty slot in your party when this happens, a second Pokemon will appear. This is Shedinja. It will be a near exact copy of the Ninjask except for the ability and of course the HP stat. Details like the nature, known moves, and time and place you encountered it will be the same. But where the heck did this thing come from? Thankfully, it's pretty easily explained in the Pokédex as various entries call it a quote, discarded shell that came to life. So it's pretty obvious that when Nincada evolves into Ninjask, it sheds its shell, just like a real-life cicada would do when it goes through a metamorphosis. But in this case, the discarded shell then becomes its own Pokemon, now a bug and ghost type. Shedinja is also described as appearing lifeless and hollow, so it seems as if a ghost has possessed the empty shell to become whatever this is. The question then becomes, where did this ghost come from, and why Shedinja of all things? I'm sure almost every other bug Pokemon would leave behind empty shells or cocoons when they evolve, so why don't they get possessed? I suppose you could say that whatever's left behind from those evolutions isn't sturdy enough, even though I'm pretty sure Nincada's shell isn't doing a whole lot, only giving 1 HP to the new Pokemon. But I think it could be a similar case to some other Pokemon that gain a ghost typing when they evolve. I've theorized in the past that some Pokemon could have the potential for ghost inside them. It's mostly dormant but is fully unleashed once they evolve or when other certain conditions are met. This is mostly what I bring up with the Cubone evolving into the Alolan Marowak. The only evidence for this though with Nincada is that it can learn Shadow Ball through TM and TR, so I don't know how well that holds up in terms of the mechanics, but in terms of lore I think that could be possible. So maybe because of this, its shell could serve as a perfect host and would attract stray spirits. Or even stranger, the shell could come to life all on its own, not necessarily being a split evolution in Nincada, but when it sheds its shell it leaves behind any potential it had of being a ghost type, and instead becomes partly flying, with Ninjask. Regardless, I find it funny because Shedinja isn't even technically an evolution of Nincada, because Nincada evolves into Ninjask and Shedinja just shows up, being made out of whatever used to be part of Nincada. The trading card game would always have Shedinja as an evolution of Nincada, just because that's easiest to put it in all sorts of media, until recently when it was printed as a basic Pokemon, as it should be. Because in a way, Shedinja isn't technically part of this evolution line even though it appears as a byproduct of this evolution. I know it still keeps the info on where it was met, which is all just weird. I mean, technically you did meet Shedinja when you caught this Nincada because the Shedinja used to be the shell. But the scariest part of Shedinja is the Pokédex entry that states, "It is believed that this Pokemon will steal the spirit of anyone peering into its hollow body from its back." Just one of the many Pokemon that will in fact kill you. It reminds me a bit of Mimikyu, both being ghost types with their true forms hidden away. A true form so terrifying that your life just ends once you view it. But if it is a spirit just living inside an empty shell, that would make it the ghostiest ghost type. And it even plays into Shedinja's ability. While this Pokemon is held back by having only 1 HP, yes, you counted right, 1, its ability Wonder Guard ensures that it can only be hit with super effective moves, making it immune to anything else that wouldn't hit for super effective damage. So the Wonder Guard ability is just a property of it being a spooky specter, a literal untouchable spirit. But if a hit can land on the fragile shell that it calls home, it's done for. Of course, the whole stealing your spirit thing is just in the Pokédex because for one thing, we see right into the hole on its back when it's in battle. And even when you walk around with Shedinja in Sword and Shield, if you interact with it, it'll turn its back right toward you. My own Pokemon is trying to suck my soul out of me. I find it really crazy that it purposely turns its back toward you, the same way that any other Pokemon would do if they want to face you head on. But Shedinja still floats forward and is even surprised if you walk away after it tries to show you its back. So I don't know if this is the spirit of Shedinja inside the shell trying to look directly at its trainer through the hole in the back of the shell, or if this is it turning the hole directly toward you, the trainer, to try and eat you up. It is possible that this is one of those urban legends that spawns from curiosity of what exactly is going on inside Shedinja. But then again, there are even weirder ghosts in the Pokemon universe. So I think that it's more so if you were able to take a deep look into the hole in the back. Like practically reach your hand inside there. Because if there is some spirit living in there and it's going through the trouble to set up a wonder guard around itself, I don't think it would take too kindly to being pried into. Shedinja has always been a favorite of mine, being such a unique Pokemon from a generation I spent a lot of time playing. It's like no other Pokemon before, and so it will always be remembered as the creepy floating shell, with the pretty crazy ability. And so that is the tale of Shedinja. Well, wasn't that quite the scary story? But anyway, hey, this is GatorX, and let me know what you think in the comments below about this Halloween video. We'll be continuing the theme throughout the entire month, and there will be a special at the end of it, so stay tuned for that. You can also check out a playlist of a bunch of other previous scary videos, which will be linked at the end, from previous years. But if you enjoyed this one, you can leave a like and subscribe to show your support. You can also enable notifications to make sure you see each new video as it comes out. But anyway, this has been GatorX. Have a scary day.